Hello there. We are underway in celebrating our first year anniversary. And if you don't already know about it, I'm hosting a raffle and giving away more than $2,000 worth in cash and prizes. So if you or a friend have access to an Apple product, you can enter to win. For the complete details, go to sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. All right, here we go with another soulful episode. We can each break through our plateaus and be supported in a wonderful life. And we do get to have our dreams and see them through. Hi there. My name is Tessa Lynne Alburn. Welcome to Say Yes to Your Soul. This is where we're going to talk about how you can get past your spiritual plateaus, raise your feminine energy, and express your true self with sparkle. Hi there. I want to talk a little bit about change and the psychology of change, because it's an important part of anyone's journey. It requires at least these 4 things I'm going to talk about in a moment. Because when people attempt to make shifts, no matter how small they are, they tend to fail because there's what I would call an energy grid around them that's been cultivated over time. And that cultivation has gotten them where they are today. That energy grid is formed of our thoughts, our beliefs, our traumas, and it's also held in place by the beliefs and energy of the people around us, our families, our social groups. Whoa. Unless we want to fall back into the crab pot where we were, we need at the very least these 4 key ingredients. Change requires new skills. No one can suddenly adopt new skills without knowing what they are and how to implement them, right? So there's some how involved, which is why you probably see really big numbers out there on the internet. How do I do this, etc.? People need new skills. The second thing is that commitment is required. And I'm talking about not just like a self-commitment, but commitment to the new behaviors and the way of being, right? How one is going to be. And in that, making small successes is very important. It's important in the process so that we don't just give up or say, oh, yeah, I'll get to that later. The third thing is consistency. This is an absolute requirement. I'm not sure why this isn't talked about more, honestly. Consistency in the practice of new skills, behaviors, and in the new energy, right? So consistency is sort of like accountability on steroids. It's consistency over time. This is essential. And the fourth thing is that all change requires some kind of mentorship, a real support system to hold the new energy while the person who's shifting is coming into that space, right? And one of the ways we talk about having this is by having the guidance of someone who has done it, right? Somebody who's been there and has the ability not only to show you the way, but to share that, right? To really help you to get it and to help you course correct when needed. One of my clients is a single mom. Her daughter's grown now, but she was a professional. My client was a professional having a really hard time with anxiety. And she was on medication to help, mitigate it and make sure she could handle her job and all the stressors that came and juggle a lot of things in her life, but she couldn't count on the medications working. So we started coaching, and she came to me for one reason and then quickly realized she wanted to go even deeper, do something much more useful for the long term. And so she did this foundational coaching work with me and then decided to come out for a private retreat and just kind of really immerse herself. So during that weekend, there comes a time when I'm working with somebody, there's an arc to it. We get to sort of this really deep healing piece. And this would be where she was going to access a new energy field of consciousness. And in that part of the session, it's where she experienced for the first time in years, she experienced true presence to herself and to her safety. Because before that, she was just trapped in a cycle of fear. And as a result of our work together, she now lives a joyful, happy, connected, and interconnected life. She's just like on fire. She's amazing. And her purpose became even more clear, and she's thriving. In her words, quote, "I realized how trapped I was by my own fear, terrified of making the same mistakes. So I have now broken through those chains and shackles of fear, feeling more embodied and connected again to my essential self." I just loved working with her. When people find out a little bit about my life and the humble beginnings where I came from, they tend to ask me, how did I do it? How did I get to my level of success? And I give them a little background. I've worked with women across the globe, and I've encountered many different cultures and belief systems. I've traveled the world and actually lived in several different countries. And those things have given me perspectives into many of the issues that women face today around the globe. And then my extensive studies in a broad spectrum of techniques definitely supported me to be able to help my clients who weren't just necessarily another version of myself, right? And I don't know if you know anything about the coaching industry or the self-help space, but I think that's a really big mistake that's made. Because people are complex beings, and as a mentor, I need to be able to respond to a wide variety of clients and their unique needs. Another important part of how I've been successful is that I receive information in a divine manner. In other words, I receive information directly from source. And that's something that I have focused on for many years, and I've cultivated the ability to do that and to hear divine guidance and to know when it is coming from source and when it is not. Now, in my professional life, one of my expert skills is to develop trainings. And I've been hired by other leading experts to design successful trainings for their businesses. Now, by working as a consultant for other businesses, I began to see firsthand the things that really cause people to be able to learn and to change their behaviors. And over the years, I've created hundreds of trainings, and many are still being utilized. But even with great training materials, what I noticed with these other coaches and trainers is that if they did not have strong access to their own higher self, and they didn't know how to create a truly safe environment, the clients will unknowingly block the information that they're being given. They'll block the ability to carry it through, or they'll block the teaching in some way, they'll resist it. This is an automatic survival response. And so it's a survival response to not feeling truly safe. And so what's really important in any real transformational relationship is the ability to trust that one is safe emotionally, psychically, and spiritually. And then when that safety is in place, then the client can learn to trust themselves. And that's where real empowerment happens. So I got to where I am today for a number of reasons. I studied instructional design. I sought out experts in unique niches and then translated the key lessons into doable steps. And I think that's another sometimes missing piece. It's like, oh, just think your way into this. Or, if you process all these feelings, then you're going to be healed. But that's not true. There must be a way to connect the dots from the healing into action in one's life. Another thing that was important and still is that I incorporate sacred space guidelines in all of my work with clients because it's absolutely essential. And of course, I understand the soul journey, especially finding one's voice, the feminine voice, because that was on my soul growth path. And by learning those skills and by taking that consistent action, I became who I could be. So I really get it when someone has found themselves on a plateau, spiritual or otherwise, or not feeling like they can really say what they need. And I also know that we can each break through our plateaus and be supported in a wonderful life. And we do get to have our dreams and see them through. And if there's life stuff going on and we don't get exactly what we're asking for, that we can also be in the joy and the mystery of what's actually happening right now and the acceptance of that. And I'm not talking about the rationalizing of it or thinking yourself like, oh, that's okay that I don't have that. It's meant to be. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a whole new level of acceptance of yourself, of others, of whatever is happening in any given moment. And so with the sacred structure and the cycle of transformation frameworks that I provide, clients are able to succeed. And some of the things that you could do now to have levels of joy and connection that you would really prefer to be having would be to start by continuing to show up here and to really listen, right? Like, so maybe you're multitasking, you're doing something else, but I'm going to invite you to start listening to yourself, your own inner responses as you hear what's being presented. And I want you to start asking yourself again, whenever the last time it was that you asked, what is it I might want? Because without that ask and that clarity that comes from asking, you will just continue to get what you get and remain like muddied or unclear or in roles that aren't really allowing you to express your true self. Lastly, I'd like to invite you to be willing to put some attention on yourself and get my 3 steps to reignite your soul fire. And how you're going to do that is you're just going to go to sayyestoyoursoulpodcast.com. Go there today and you can get that free download. All right, go ahead now. And as we close, I want you to give yourself a little self-appreciation. Take a moment, right? Appreciate yourself literally for taking the time to listen today and to nourish yourself. There it is. Good. And until next time, blessings and light. All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's delicious episode. Before you jump off, I wanted to remind you to get entered in the raffle this month because I'm giving away more than $2,000 worth of prizes in both private sessions and actual cash. What are those prizes, you ask? Well, one of them is a private 75-minute soul light healing session with me. And that can be healing on various levels. It might be releasing trauma or tuning up your body or your emotions or clearing things like past lives and karma that's been, energetic debris holding you back. This session can be very helpful and sometimes have dramatic results in relationships, money, and in your health. And we're going to do that together on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live. The second prize is a 60-minute coaching session with me, and that's also going to be on Zoom. So if you want support or clarity for your goals, like help with getting started with a project or just creating an action plan, that is going to be an amazing session. You'll be surprised at how much you come away with. The third prize is a personalized meditation that I will design especially for you. And of course, it's going to be yours to keep. So it's going to be fully personalized in terms of the content, and I will be speaking just to you so that you will be able to resonate with it and receive the maximum benefits that you want to create. Okay, now for the fun stuff, the cash. I have several cash prizes in various amounts. I've got several $50 prizes, $75 prizes, and $100 prizes. So you can see there are many opportunities to win here, and I just want to encourage you to be sure to play because you do need to play to win. All monetary prizes will be delivered through PayPal or Wise. And if you have a different currency, it'll be automatically converted for you. So as long as you have access to an Apple device, you can play. And all the instructions are available on our website at sayyes2yoursoulpodcast.com. That's sayyes2yoursoulpodcast.com. And if you need any support in completing your raffle entry, my team is ready to help you with that. You'll find their email on our webpage as well. So that's it. All the best to you, and may you say yes to your soul.